Hello and welcome to the walkthrough of the user interface of 9CardGolf. I'm going to show you some things about our interface that don't show up in gameplay per se, but are parts of the app that you should know and be familiar with in order to make the most out of your experience with the game. Things like settings, scorecards, rules and hints, quick play, and game center. So let's get going. First things first, settings. We have a pretty extensive settings screen. It lets you set everything from the color of the card table and what kind of surface and surface lighting you want to work with, to AI player speed, to the default number of hands, which I like to keep somewhere between 2 and 9, but you can go all the way up to 18 if you choose to play that many games. We have a checkbox for sound effects, which are on by default. That's so you can hear cards being drawn and put down on the table. We have a selector for the number of decks you'd like to play with, and of course that changes the number of card backs you can choose. You can choose one per deck, or the same for all decks. I like to mix it up a little bit. You can kind of go with whatever colors you want. You can make it crazy and not match. We have options for jokers, and to use the sheep faces versus just the suits on the front of the cards. So we like to have sheep faces and jokers on. Jokers are -2 points. And those are all of our options, except for some experimental rules here at the bottom. We have a 2x2 match counts 25 points less option, which when turned on, when you have a grid of 4 cards that match, will subtract 25 points from your score. And then if you're the first person out, but you don't have the highest or lowest score, you don't have the best score, we'll say, you get 10 extra points tacked on. So those are some interesting experimental rules that can make your scores get pretty wonky, but make gameplay a little more interesting. Okay, moving on to scorecards. We have the scorecard view here. You can select your players here on the first of 4 screens, which player you want to see the scores for. I'll select my player since the only one I've played any games on here is mine. And then games that Steve has played are showed here on the second screen, or whoever else you choose. You can see our test player there. So these are the games I've played, total number of holes played, eventual scores, the date and time of game playing, and then we have a full readout of the scores for each hand on a scorecard here that spans 2 screens again, and you get to see the front 9 and the back 9, all 18 hands in a game, and then the total. So that is the extent of the score system, and again you can select which games to look at here, and they will show up when you advance a page. So that's exciting stuff. Our score system goes pretty in depth, and we're quite proud of it. And of course those scores are all connected to Game Center. Rules and hints. Hopefully you know by now that rules and hints provide you with all kinds of cool little slides for learning better how the game works, and working with rules and getting to know them a little more intimately so you can play better. We have screens here for knowing the rules, and then we have a screen for the video tutorial. Whoa, Inception. We don't want a video tutorial in our tutorial. But you get the idea there. And then we have a contact us screen that's full of all kinds of email links to report an issue, comment, question, and suggest ideas for our app. We have a button for rating us on the App Store and a button for visiting our website. And if you click those, of course, they'll go to the respective apps. But right now, we're just focusing on the game. Now here you see I have a Game Center player selected rather than my normal player. When you have a normal player selected, Game Center goes away. When you have a Game Center player selected, the Game Center test player. When you have a Game Center test player selected, these icons show up. Those are pretty cool. They link directly to achievements, which you can see I have not completed a lot of, and then leaderboards, which I am not doing very well on. But nevertheless, this is a test app, and of course, in the App Store game, those are all connected to the real Game Center. So excuse our sandboxing here. Anyway, once you have a player selected who has some games behind him or her, you can go ahead and click this quick play button, and that'll take you right into the game and construct a game for you instantly based on your settings, as chosen in the settings screen I showed you earlier, like default number of hands and preferred card backs and game table style. Okay, that pretty much covers all of the interface that I wanted to show you. So back to the main menu. Okay, that concludes my interface walkthrough for 9CardGolf. Thanks again for watching. I hope you found it interesting and benefited from it. Thanks again from all of us at Iron Sheep Productions, and we hope you enjoy the game.